Hey, do you remember sending a love letter to that one special person? Let's talk about that next. Hey, Treasure Valley Dave here. No, not Dr. Ruth. We're going to talk about love letters today, but not that kind. So, why would you consider doing a love letter? And what is a love letter? Well, a love letter is a personal letter from the buyers to the seller to create a connection with them, to say how much they love this house and the reasons why. And if the seller has, fond feelings for this house too, there might be a connection there between the buyer and the seller, and that would be great for you if you're the buyer, because then the seller might be more disposed to go ahead and pick your offer over somebody else's. Maybe somebody else is going to just tear the house down, or turn into a parking lot, or completely gut it, or make it into a business or something. But you want to just live there with your family and raise the kids under that big tree in the backyard or the tire swing, just like the sellers did. So a love letter in that case, could really make a difference. So does everybody write love letters? Well, no, they sure don't. There's cases where it could be done, and there's cases where it's just not really needed. Let's say the seller is like an estate, and the people that actually live there have passed, and the real sellers have no connection. Or maybe the house have been a rental, and the seller really has no emotional connection. So in that case, love letter is probably not going to mean anything. But let's say that you're coming in and you're feeling your love with money. You're going to go $10, $20, $50,000 over asking. A love letter really isn't. You're not going after the emotional angle. You're going after the financial angle. So you're sending mixed signals there with the emotional love letter, and then just down and dirty, giving you a bunch of cash type of a thing. So in that case, love letter probably isn't necessary. But it's on those occasions where to get that edge against other competition, you want to make that personal emotional connection between the buyer and the seller. Does it work? It can. Is it something that you should do? Maybe. So when does it work? If the seller is a person, if the seller's been someone that's lived in their house for a long time, and they have a special love and affection for that house, and they're probably sad that they have to be leaving, they're going to appreciate a family that comes in and is going to love the house as much as they do. And it's very great when it works out, but there's a couple things that we do need to be cognizant of, and that is HUD, the Housing and Urban Development branch of the federal government. They've come out and said that you can do a love letter, but you can't violate HUD rules. You can't come in there and say, I like this house because it's close to the school, I have kids, I have a family, this house would be great for us. While that may be absolutely true, and that may be compelling to both the buyer and the seller, federal government says you can't say that because you would be discriminating against somebody that doesn't have a family or kids or something like that. So why does HUD have these rules? Well, I suppose at the end of the day, it's all well-intentioned with making sure that people aren't excluded or discriminated against. Maybe you don't have a family and you'd feel discriminated against if, two people, the buyer and the seller, both had families and they had that connection there. So you'd say, oh, I'm being discriminated against because I don't have a family, or maybe you belong to a different church than, say, the seller did. So it's just something, those kind of categories, those protected categories, we just steer clear of in the love letters. So I know you guys want to play by the rules, right? So what could you put in a love letter? Well, I'm not giving you advice on that, but I've heard that as long as you're sticking with stuff specifically about the house, maybe you could say, I've always wanted a 2-story house, and your house is a 2-story house. Oh, please, that's great. Talk with your real estate agent in depth to make sure that, there's not going to be a HUD violation. And I learned this one just recently too, and not firsthand, thank you very much, is that not only can the agent get busted with a HUD violation, and we're talking thousands of dollars, but even if you go behind the agent's back and give a love letter to the seller, you personally are in violation of HUD rules, and you can be hit with thousands of dollars of fines from HUDs. Have I used love letters successfully in the past? I sure have. I've represented sellers that have gotten those letters, and it really did help figure out exactly which offer to go with. Multiple offer situation, which is very normal nowadays. But I just want to caution you to be very careful. If you found this video helpful at all, please go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss any in the future. And as always, this is Treasure Valley Dave, looking forward to helping you get home.